Spirit of the North 2. You play as a fox thrown into this world that's under a dark curse, and your journey starts and is guided by your raven companion, which leads you on a journey through this sort of isolated world that has fallen into ruin. And it's an emotional driven story, and you kind of find your place into it. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's a fairly epic adventure.
I'm Jacob. I'm one of the co-founders of Infuse Studio, and we're a really small studio, and I do a lot of the 3D art, level design, lighting, just world building, I guess sort of art directing as well. Taylor also does a lot of those things.
Yeah, I'm Taylor Christensen, and like Jacob said, we are both owners of Infuse Studios. My focus is usually more on story and gameplay, whereas his focus is on graphics, environments, and 3D models.
I'm Pav Gekko and acting as an audio director on the project. So I'm a composer on the project as well as a sound designer, and I implement sounds.
As far as what's unique about Spirit of the North 2, well, you play as a fox, which is fairly unique. There's not a lot of animal games that have hours and hours and hours of gameplay, so that alone is unique. But it's also in a genre that is fairly new and unique and unexplored, to where we're completely relying on the music and we're completely relying on the visuals to tell a story. And that's with, keeping as much UI off screen as possible. This one has a little more UI than the first game, just because we've introduced more mechanics, but we still try heavily not to have it on screen, and no narrative. There's no waypoints like, floating on around the UI to tell you where to go. It's a thought-provoking adventure guided by music.
The music is quite important in the game to tell the emotional story. We decided to take a step further than what was the case in the previous game, and this game has an interactive soundtrack that reacts to the environments and whatever the player is doing. And it's quite a challenge, but it's an interesting challenge because you have to cover a lot of cases and make sure that the soundtrack flows nicely, so it's not just a case of providing the atmosphere. In a game like this specifically, that's very emotional. It is very important for the music to provide some emotional hooks for the player.
The Raven's name is Thought, and she joins you on the adventure at the very beginning. She is your guide, primarily, introducing to you some of what you should be doing and where you should be going. But she's also a companion through your journey, and the character's destiny and her destiny are intertwined in a way that, working together, you meet your end objective. It is an open world, and the jump targets aren't hand-placed. It is procedural, so it is finding targets that you can jump to as you move around the world. That means that you could probably find places and explore paths that we didn't intentionally set for you as devs. So that opens up a whole thing of testing and perfecting. And like Jacob said, this is something that has been working on for 3 years now, and multiple versions of this jump target system. And then in addition to that, you're not constrained to the target system. So if you are sprinting, the targets don't appear. So you can sort of go in between sort of these long sort of fast jumps where you're sprinting, and then you can turn to these more controlled jumps where you're sort of traversing over, across ledges and beams.
We have a rune system where you get rewards that are runes, and you equip them kind of like pieces of armor, and they go on a certain slot. So like there's like a head slot, shoulders, a back, and a tail. And the different ones, they give you different abilities, and there are variations of those runes that can change the ability slightly. For example, you have a glide, like from the Raven. The Raven can pick you up when you're jumping and glide. There'll be different glide runes that alter that mechanic, so that instead of just gliding, you maybe go up a little bit and then glide, or things like that. So I'm really interested to see how people react to that and how they think that they like that. And we also have a new perk tree. You get perk points from doing different main objectives in the game, and you're able to make your character better, more resistant to things, or you can hold more wisps, various things like that. We didn't have anything like that in the first game, and we really are looking forward to see how that resonates with people.
Spirit of the North 2 is coming at the end of this year, 2024. to Xbox Series S and X, PlayStation 5, and Steam, and Epic Game Store. But I would like to just say thank you to our fans. We are incredibly grateful that we are able to do what we love to do, which is make games. And it is because of the success of the first game that we've been able to, in large part, have a good relationship with the publisher and have the funds to fund this game. And we hope that this next game is what all the fans have been wanting. We've been listening and we've been implementing, and this second game, it's a gift to those players and a gift to all the new players. We hope they love it.